If you're a black woman today, you should be afraid. You should be afraid because everyone who is in your ear the most is trying to urge you and push you into walking into your own death. And they want you to believe it was actually the best choice you could make. Yesterday, I did a video about Michelle Rowling. She was a young woman from East St. Louis, Missouri. As most people know, East St. Louis is an urban sprawl. Michelle had two baby daddies. One named Montrell Cooper, a violent, pants-sagging menace who assaulted her on several occasions, once even stabbing her in the neck. Michelle testified each time on his behalf. November 25th, she posted on Facebook that she was scared something was going to happen to her. 5 days later, Montrell Cooper came to her housing project's apartment. She let him in, and he stabbed her again. This time, he stabbed her until she was dead. In the wake of these horrific events, people always ask what can be done to avoid this. But the truth is that most black women do not want to avoid this, because most like to indulge in the risk behaviors that cause this kind of tragedy. And several people came to my post to speak up in favor of Michelle's right to keep dating this heathen until he finally killed her and left her two children parentless. There were several telltale signs that in recent years people have tried to bully us into thinking that these things no longer matter and that they are no longer bad things. But Michelle Rowling's dead body is all the evidence that we need that this is a lie. A woman with a baby daddy is a danger sign. A woman with multiple baby daddies is a severe danger sign. A woman who lives in a public housing project is a danger sign. A woman with tattoos, particularly multiple tattoos, in conspicuous places like her breasts, is a danger sign. A woman with multi-colored hair weaves, like she works at a carnival, is a danger sign. A woman who brags to the world about frequenting clubs, alcohol consumption, and promiscuous sex is a danger sign. These are basic truths we shouldn't even have to argue about, and yet today we do. These are not just personal choices. These are detrimental and dangerous activities that used to be reserved for streetwalkers and gang members. In the old days, this kind of foolishness was kept in check. But back in our grandmother's day, a woman actually cared about her body, and she didn't let you desecrate the outside, nor did she allow some criminal scum to pollute the inside. But those women are gone. The black women of today are attention whores, and they're not above imitating literal whores if it means getting more attention. I'm not just referring to the females in the ghetto. This problem is systemic among black females today. Tattoos in black society used to be reserved for hookers and gang members, but 20 years ago, black women abandoned civilized behavior and adopted thug culture as an easy means to get attention. To show low-life males that they weren't soft, black females began getting tattoos and eventually moved on to tongue rings to show they had sexual prowess and were available for loose sex, all to attract males as easily as possible. From there, it's all been downhill. The real shame of all this is that most black females support each other in being with low-life males. This is not just a local practice. This is the typical and standard way that black women deal with each other now. Our grandmothers would check each other when they saw one of their sisters talking to some dusty Negro. But as black women have turned against the black family and now prefer a welfare check instead of a husband, they now have united as a type of sisterhood of failures. This sisterhood of failures exists for one thing: to maintain black female egos at all costs. Their motto is simple: it's not wrong as long as a black female is doing it. And this sentiment is reinforced in every corner of every place in black society, from corporate TV to magazine, and it's absolutely inundated on the internet. So much so to the point that black females online have adopted the practice that "don't judge me" is their personal motto. Even as their kids suffer at the hands of pedophiles, even as the women are beaten by their thug lover, even after he's pulled out the knife and stabbed her. Black women today are more afraid of admitting they were wrong than they are of dying from their mistakes. And they have so many enablers in so many places that they now actually think it's the right thing to do. As I read over the comments section of people who saw my videos, it was frightening to see that the people who made the most excuses for Michelle Rowling were other black women. Perhaps the scariest thing was how several of them said that the fact her baby daddy wore the hoodlum's uniform and dressed like a thug didn't actually even matter. They tried to make the false conflation that even non-thugs commit murder, therefore a thug was no more dangerous than anyone else. They said this in spite of the fact the evening news in every city in America proves that it's not lawyers and doctors murdering people daily, but it is thugs doing it daily. And it is precisely these kinds of stubborn and irrational arguments that have made black women the least married, least dated, and most abandoned women on earth. When you try to tell a black man who has been to college that he is no better than a two-bit crook with his tattoos and pants sagging, you've just told every decent man on earth you have no clue what a man is supposed to be. And it would be different if the worst that could happen from laying up with a Montrell Cooper was a broken heart and feeling foolish. The problem is the worst that could happen is he could kill you and your kids. But the enablers don't care about this. People came to my video and cursed me out about saying the mistakes she made. But not even once did any of them bring up how this affected her children. And that was the most disgusting part. There were 2 kids caught up in this. And as we saw in the case of Brandy Peters, the men will often kill the woman and the kids. But this didn't matter to these people. All they cared about was Michelle's right to sleep with whomever, and that she shouldn't have been killed for her bad choices in bed partners. The children weren't the most important thing to any of them, and this shows the level of evil and selfishness that we're not really confronting in our women. When you have a group of females who can hear how a mother let a criminal deadbeat into her house and into her bed and around her kids and in and out of her home, and they will yell and curse at you in her defense, and yet they don't have one syllable to say in defense of those innocent children, you know we have a major disease among black women today. These people would rather play this sick little game of looking for exceptions to the rule rather than just accepting the reality of the world we live in. And people are dying over it. Most black women today are wearing the uniform of the Hoodrat and the Project Chicks. From the females on the streets of Brooklyn to the First Lady of the United States. Black women today have totally abandoned the concept of being a lady, and they have tons of people who will circle the wagons to tell them that up is down and down is up. To complicate matters even more, there were a couple of dusty and thirsty simps who saw an opportunity to capitalize on the situation. This is a pattern among low-life males. They will agree with any stupid behavior they see black women doing as long as it means getting in their favor. They understand that most black females today are desperate for attention and can easily be talked into bed. The internet is the preferred hunting ground today for these types of males. They will say anything these selfish and gullible females want to hear and call her queen all the while, until she says she won't sleep with him. Then he'll call her every name in the book. These simps are the other side of the enabling equation because they give females like Michelle Rowling the false idea that she really can get tattoos all over her body and men will give her a pass. That she really can have 4 kids by 4 different men and there will still be plenty of quality males lined up to take care of her. And this is the kind of behavior that is criminal. Because these guys know full well they don't give a care about any of these females. They just want to put up a post defending Hoodrats, and that will give them an excuse to inbox them. If I had my way, males like these would be standing in front of the World Court for crimes against humanity. Because these dusty lying lames are the reason rock-bottom chicks still think that they're dimes. If all these women doing what Michelle Rowling did couldn't get any male attention early on before they have a chance to get a few bastard babies under their belt, it would be different. But as long as some idiot is in their inbox or on their Twitter feed or in their comments section telling them down and out girls that they are sexy queens, she can still persist in the illusion that Montrell Cooper really isn't the end of the line for her, and that she can keep playing the game just a little bit longer. The reason so many black women are being killed today by males who are obviously thugs and hoodlums is because black women have so many other black women next to them telling them, "Keep going. Keep it up. Hee hee. That was cute. Keep going." We have too many black women telling each other it doesn't matter if he doesn't have a job. It doesn't matter if he's a gang member. It doesn't matter how low he sags his pants. You need a dude with some swag and a fella with some edge. If he gets out of line, you can shoot him or have him locked up. So don't worry about it. You do you. It's an extremely dangerous game, and the majority of black females today are playing it. And this is how we ended up with Sharkeisha. This is how we ended up with black women being the main attraction for acting a fool on World Star Hip Hop. Not white women, not Hispanic women, not even black men. Only black women are filling up the video archives on YouTube, Media Takeout, Vine, and World Star with outrageous behavior. It's like seeing a boxer who's clearly dead on his feet and beaten, and yet rather than throw in the towel, the people in his corner are instead telling him, "You look great, champ." We need to return to common sense. Stop saying it doesn't matter if a man is wearing the thug's uniform. A woman's body is born perfect. Stop saying that tattoos are not desecrating what was made to perfection. Stop telling these females that unprotected sex is just a choice. Tell them the truth, that it's nasty and it's hoe behavior. Tell them being in a housing project and living on food stamps is for failures and losers, not queens. Tell your sisters to raise their standards and make a man qualified to spend time with you. Tell them stop listening to any man who tells you you're a queen living on Section 8 and carrying babies from random men. Tell these women to stop being so desperate for attention. The reason no one is paying you the real attention that you need is because you lack personality and morals. And a man will sleep with you, but he won't keep you. And all the losers online and at your school who whisper those lies to you should be proof enough. It's not up to men to make you a smart woman. It's up to you to be a smart woman. It's a shame that Michelle Rowling became what she did. It's a shame that she didn't have respect for intelligent black men. It's a shame she had so many people who, even in death, they would give her the exact same advice to stay with this killer, even though her kids are in danger. It's time for the doublespeak to die. It's time for the contradictions to end. It's time to stop trying to hide behind exceptions to the rule. Just because people get shot and don't die doesn't mean that bullets aren't dangerous. If you made a mistake, you need to man up and woman up and call it like it is and help each other to stop this cycle. Anyone who tells our women that wearing the Hoodrat's uniform of tattoos, hair weaves, big gaudy eyelashes, and multiple bastard babies isn't an atrocity is a blight on our people and has committed treason against black society. I've lost my taste for accepting savage behavior a long time ago. If you want to help the next Michelle Rowling, then it's time to do the same. No more excuses.